Welcome back, Care Partners. Have you, as a dementia caregiver, ever felt stuck in a cycle of stress, anxiety, frustration with your loved one with dementia? And you're thinking to yourself, I should know how to handle this better. After today's video, you will. We are going to dive into one of the most powerful tools in psychology, and that is recognizing the connection between those emotions, your thoughts, as well as behaviors. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair, neuropsychologist and dementia care specialist. I've used this exact same triad to help thousands of my patients and their families regain control, get out of reactive patterns, and find practical solutions that actually work, even when you are most stressed. Today, I'm going to show you as well how to use this exact same model to make caregiving less overwhelming. You'll learn how to spot the triggers for your stress and anxieties, how to reframe the responses, as well as how to feel more empowered with dementia caregiving. So if you've ever felt like you're on an emotional roller coaster with dementia caregiving, then this is the video for you. Let's go. The first thing to realize when shifting your emotions is to recognize that every action you take as a caregiver begins with a thought. In fact, any action you take, caregiving or not, begins with a thought. So there's a link between your thoughts, your emotions, and your behaviors. You can picture it as a triangle where thoughts influence your feelings, impact your behaviors, and your behaviors reinforce your thought. Many people mistakenly believe that it's their situation that's causing them to feel a certain way. For example, picture a college student who has an exam on Friday. They may be anxious and they'll attribute their anxiety to the test that they have on Friday. As a dementia caregiver, you probably attribute your anxiety to the demands from your loved one with dementia. They're asking me a million questions, and that's why I'm anxious. They are constantly asking me for things, and that's what's causing me to feel more restless and anxious. Let's actually examine if it's the situation, the test, or your loved one's demands that's causing you to feel a certain way. At the time of this taping, it's almost the holiday season. So let's just use an example that you are at the mall shopping for your holiday presents. I am at the mall shopping for my holiday presents. You're walking along and suddenly I storm out of one of the stores, I bump into you, you drop a couple of bags, and I just keep running along. I don't pause to help you. I don't pause to see if you're okay. I run out of the store and I keep going. Now, there are a couple of thoughts that you're probably going to have about that situation. One of the thoughts that you might have is, Dr. Sinclair is so rude, right? That's probably a common reaction that you're going to have. And if you think that, you may also feel angry with me. You might feel annoyed, frustrated, right? You're going to have an intense emotional experience. I just knocked into you. You ended up dropping a few of your bags. I didn't stop to check in on you. I didn't stop to help you with the bag. I just kept going. And so let's say that you see me again the next day at a barbecue. How are you going to behave toward me when that just happened and you're thinking, I'm rude, and you're having all these emotions? You're probably going to ignore me. You're probably going to roll your eyes at me when you see me. You'll probably avoid me, or maybe you'll act rude towards me, right? You might come and bump into me. I don't know how passive aggressive you are, but you're probably going to act accordingly, right? Let's keep that same situation, Care Partners, exact same situation. You are walking along the mall, I storm out of a store, bump into you, drop all of the items, and I just keep going. I don't turn back to check in, are you okay? I don't turn back to help you with the bags, I just keep going. Same situation, but let's change the thought. And if you have that thought, ooh, something must be wrong, I hope she's okay. What are the emotions that you're going to have now? You're likely going to feel concern about me. You're likely going to be worried about me. You're likely going to be saddened that something imminent may have happened with me. You're probably going to be concerned. And if you're concerned and you see me at the barbecue the next day, how are you going to act toward me? How are you going to behave toward me? If you're concerned, You're probably going to come up to me. You'll probably be gentle. You'll probably lean in. Hi, can I help with anything? How are you doing? Is everything okay? Yesterday you looked really upset at the mall, right? If there's an emotion of concern, your behavior to me the next day at the barbecue is going to be very different than what the behavior was before when you had the thought that I was rude and you were angry. Right? Then in that instance, you avoided me. In this instance, you're leaning in toward me and you're probably concerned. So care partners, here's an example of the exact same situation. We did not change the situation at all. What changed was your appraisal of the situation, what you thought about the situation. If you had an appraisal of Dr. Sinclair is rude, you're going to have an emotion aligned with that. And your behavior towards me the next time is going to be in alignment with that thought and emotion. But if you had a worry thought for me, is everything okay? Which made you concerned, then your behavior towards me the next time is going to be different. You're going to lean in and be caring. Thoughts impact emotions, impact behaviors, and behaviors reinforce those thoughts. It's a triangle. Now that you understand the triad, let's start to catch those automatic thoughts that keep you stuck in stress, frustration, anxiety. Okay, partners, before we go on to that, I want to just really emphasize to you guys that these are automatic thoughts that pop into your head, okay? We don't stop to think about our thoughts before they occur. These are automatic thoughts that are the result of genetics, where you were raised, how you were raised, the environment, the community that you were raised in. So these are automatic. They're not within your control. So I just want to make sure that I emphasize that so that you're not thinking to yourself, oh no, why am I having these horrible negative thoughts? They're out of your control and they're based on all of those factors that I mentioned. But where you do have control, care partners, is that you can catch these thoughts that's keeping you stuck in a pattern of stress and anxiety. You can catch them and you can actually begin to reframe them. You can challenge them. You can look at them differently. You can have a different experience. I'm going to use a thought that I hear very often in dementia caregiving. And that thought is, my loved one is doing this on purpose. I know logically, all of you guys know that your loved one has a cognitive disorder and that their brain is failing them. You know that on a logical level. Tell that to your automatic thought. Okay? Automatically though, it doesn't matter how much you know that. Automatically the thought pops into your head, my loved one is doing this on purpose. I hear this 9 out of 10 times, maybe close to 9.5 out of 10 times. And these are from people just like you, right? We're on a logical level. You know that they have this cognitive disorder, but man, oh man, sometimes they are spot on and sometimes they get it. And at the doctor's office, Dr. Sinclair, you should see them. They are a different person. They are answering the questions. They are so polite. They are so nice. And the second we go home, Dr. Sinclair, this is a different person. I know, care partners, I know. So I want you to catch that thought, care partners. And I want you to really think emotionally, how does that feel? To think that someone is hurting your feelings on purpose? How does it feel for you to believe that someone is placing things and coming and accusing you of it, right? Like, how does it feel when you believe your loved one is doing this stuff on purpose, right? It doesn't feel good. It makes you feel all the ways that you felt when you thought that I knocked into you at the mall and kept going. It makes you feel angry. It makes you feel annoyed. It makes you feel frustrated. It makes you feel all those things. And so you better believe, care partners, that even when you try your best, the next interaction with your loved one with dementia is going to be impacted by the way that you feel. It really is. Maybe you might be a little tense with them. Maybe you might be a little curt with your loved one. All of that your loved one is picking up Meanwhile, they forgot about the last interaction. They don't even remember what they did to you, perhaps, right? Based on how you're feeling, that is going to come out in your actions towards your loved one with dementia. And it's just going to create more stress for you. The way that you're going to do that, care partners, is that you can ask yourself several questions. You can ask, is this thought 100% accurate? Do I know 100% that my loved one is doing this on purpose? Could there be an alternative explanation? Am I viewing the entire picture, right? Could someone who witnessed the exact same situation come to the exact same conclusion as me? Would 9 out of 10 people come to that exact same conclusion? And if not, what are some of the alternative responses that they would probably come up with? Is this thought helpful to me? And is this thought even accurate? 100%. That is what a fact is. A fact is something that's 100% accurate. What is the evidence for or against this thought? Care partners, when you start to ask this question, what is my evidence for this thought, you can honor the observations that you're recognizing, okay? And then also maybe come out of that for a moment. What's the evidence against this thought? Argue against it, that the thought you have is not true. So if it's not true, then what else could be happening here in the situation? In what ways is this thought, for example, not including the full story? Could there be an alternative response? Is there another way that I can think of the situation based on everything that I know about dementia? What else can I tell myself in the future? So when I feel that intense frustration or stress or anxiety, first I want for you, after you feel that, care partners, to catch the thought. And then you're going to ask, what else? What else can I tell myself in the future when I'm having this experience? The next question that you can ask to reframe is, I'm focusing on this thought that's creating this emotion, but maybe I need to be taking care of my emotion. Maybe I need to be taking care of myself right now when I'm feeling this way. This thought is creating this experience, but maybe I just need to take care of this anxiety and this frustration. The next way to shift emotions segues into that quite well. You want to practice actions that align with compassionate thinking and also align with taking care of yourself. It does not have to be a grand gesture. It can be that you practice for 2 hours. Regardless of what my loved one does, I am going to have a calmer tone. That's a behavior. That's an action that's aligned with your intention. Regardless of what my loved one does today, I'm going to put on some music and I am going to sing along. That's an action that's aligned with your intention. Every time you choose an action that's aligned with your value, you're breaking that automatic thought pattern of going into the negative. So care partners, you are not aiming for perfection. You are aiming for progress over perfection. In what ways today, for the next hour, can you have a behavior that's aligned with what you value? Okay, so you are going to catch that thought, you are going to reframe the thought, and not only are you going to reframe the thought so that you can have a different emotional experience, you're also going to act in a way that you're aligned with, because that's going to be the most powerful way that you are going to shift these stressful, anxiety-provoking, frustration patterns that you have right now. You're taking care of the full triad. Care partners, if any of this is resonating with you, if you are finding it helpful, then please go ahead and like this video. It lets me and the algorithm know that this is helpful to you, and then I can continue to churn out more videos just like this. And if you are needing a video topic, then go ahead and comment below what you're struggling with so that I can make a video for you attending to that need, okay? So let's keep going. So the next step, care partners, in shifting your emotions is the most important. It is practice. Now that you know this triad, now that you know how to catch your thoughts, now that you know how to reframe your thoughts, now that you know how to behave in a way that's aligned with what you value, you really have to practice this. This is a skill. Patients and their families who come to me, I'm like their accountability every week or every few days, right? So I can check in and make sure that they are actually utilizing these skills. It can only work for you, care partners, if you use it. And so that is the recommendation here, is to practice, practice, practice these skills. You're not looking for perfection, you're looking for progress. As you're watching this, you're probably realizing as well that you're getting most frustrated with your loved one when they refuse your help. And if that's the case, then go ahead and watch the next video where I teach you how to actually get your loved one to comply better. I'll see you there.